Hello. Considering that my Death Guard video didn't really do too well, I think it might be a good idea to go back to what works, Necrons, or more specifically, the Silent King. This may be a shorter video since it's only covering the one guy, John Silent, but hopefully there's enough depth here to really put to scale how busted he really is. If you like this content, please leave a like, maybe even subscribe, and comment down below what you'd like to see next. The Silent King's an old character. Like, old. He's been around since the War in Heaven and has led the Necrons since the War in Heaven, sort of? When he was in power, the Necrons were being bullied quite hard by the Old Ones, Eldar, and at the time, Rorks, the previous evolution of the Orcs. And seeing the strife, he wanted to do something so that the Necron tier wouldn't lose against the Old Ones. Essentially, he was responsible for the transformation of the Necron tier into the Necrons. The biotransference, which is actually created by Luminor Caesarus. Nerd moment. And he was the first Necron tier to become a Necron, along with certain other named characters. Then, the Catan controlled the Necrons for a while, killing all the old ones, and then the Necrons turned the Catan to Pokemon with extra animal abuse. That's already been covered. At the end of the War in Heaven, though, Caesaric won. Sorta. But he was guilt-ridden for leading his people into damnation, so he put all the Necrons into stasis and sent himself into an exile that was self-imposed away from the galaxy. And now in 9th edition, and in 9th edition, he returned with PTSD because he saw the Tyranids, and so now the Necrons are waking up en masse faster than ever, with new zones of Necron-infested, war-persistent bullshittery, such as the Pariah Nexus, are popping up everywhere across the galaxy. That pretty much sums up all of his lore up to Indominus, and what he's done, or did, in 9th edition, but wait, there's more. Caesaric is one of the most powerful Necrons, standing pretty much beside or above Trazyn and Imhotep, and commanding the largest dynasty of Necrons, the obviously named Caesarician dynasty. I know, real creative. He often leads battles from the front on his gamer chair called the Dice of Dominion, but it in itself is actually quite a powerful weapon by its own right, being powered by a Catan shard of Nidrazatha, or Nidrazatha, or I don't know where the intonations lie. I'm sorry, I don't speak Necron or Egyptian. The burning one, and having inbuilt warp tomfucker you ups. In short, you can't cast magic around him. It also houses the Silent King himself, along with his two little buddies, the two Triarchs called Hapthatra and Hapthatra on the screen, and Mesophet. The Gamer Chair also harbors the temporal field thingy, which can dispel oncoming attacks, and this is reflected on the tabletop, as you'll see. The Gamer Chair also hosts two Triarch Minears, the big rocks to go fuck yourself with Annihilator Beams, and Blackstone to curb stomp Psychers even more. Lastly, the Silent King himself is decked out with some real goated stuff, such as the Scepter of Eternal Glory, with his which can channel? Which can channel the raw power of a Catan, and his Necrodomer's body, because damage is optional. He also has his own warship called the Song of Oblivion, but I don't see it in Battlefleet Gothic 2, so I don't care. On the tabletop, the Silent King is 420 points. No fucking way. Fuck off. 420. And it shows. Both of his Triarch Minears have Annihilator Beams, which only have 24 inches of range, but oh boy, do they hit like a fucking truck, dealing flat 6 damage at strength 14, and hitting on 2s. Ooh. Additionally to this, the main model has one of his Triarchs firing the Staff of Stars, which is 12 attack, strength 6, indirect fire, Horde Annihilator, which also hits on 2s, and the Silent King himself has his Scepter of Eternal Glory. Now, this is an alright range weapon. It has 2 attacks, it's on 2s, strength 10, AB 3 damage with Devastating. But, it could be use the Triarch one or the Annihilator Beams much better. For melee, however, in addition to each brick having its obligatory 1 melee attack at strength 4, the weapons of the final Triarch is an absolute nightmare, with 12 attacks hitting on 2s with strength 8 and 2 damage, and anti-elite beast with lethal hits, because Strength 8 isn't enough, and there's no way your Terminators are making it to round 3. His abilities, though, really are the icing on the cake. Reanimation allows him to heal D3 wounds, or return one of his Triarchal Minears with 1 wound, with the voice of the Triarch allowing him to pick one of the 3 abilities each turn, and the abilities are as such. Ahem! Unfold Scroll. Pharaoh of the Stars. It's pretty good, allowing all Necrons within 6 inches to reroll hits and wounds of 1, but Pharaoh of the Blades is a bit better, especially with Scorpex and Lichguard. So this ability is an R ability within 6 inches, which allows all Necron units to reroll charges and add 1 to their strength, which god damn. Lastly, Bringer of Unity allows Necrons within 6 inches, are you noticing a pattern of 6-inch ranges here, to ignore all modifiers to their characteristics, excluding saves, which is an alright ability if you have a big debuff, like, I don't know, -1 to hits and wounds. It's a pretty good counter to that, but honestly, it's not worth losing the +1 to strength and free rerolls. Mix this with a +1 to leadership and a deadly demise of D6 +3, but only in Cesaric, and you have one of the most busted motherfuckers in 40k. He's also toughness 10 with 16 wounds, and an obligatory 4-up invuln. Not too bad. But let me make this as clear as mud. If you play Necrons, and you do not feel this man, you're not fully using your army to its fullest potential. The Silent King is fucked, and is practically always a must-include for any list considering how strong and fun he is to play. Additionally, he is a really simple and easy way to make a 1,000-point Necron force if you already have the Combat Patrol. Not only that, but he synergizes really well with quite a few units there, including the Scorpex plus Overlord with the Pharaoh of the Blades, and Warriors plus Doomstalker with Pharaoh of the Stars. Actually, that's not quite a few. That's all the units, except for Scarabs, which aren't a real unit, and that's the video. If you liked it, please leave a like, or maybe even subscribe if you want more. Leave a comment saying what you'd like to see next, actually, or if you watched the video up to this point, comment Egyptian Daddy to confuse anyone else who's watching. Yeah. For the love of God, find the man who made Necron Scarabs and put his ass in the dirt.